Hello, everybody. So I don't want to just become a news channel, but the media is so blatant now, and it's just so obvious how much they're lying. They just don't even care, and it's kind of fascinating and it's kind of refreshing to see how little they do care. And YouTube has been aggressively sending me these videos, and I just decided to take a look at a couple of them because there's so many things that are amazing about these. Like the like to dislike ratio ranges from bad to horrendous, and they'll put out videos like in the same couple days that directly contradict one another. So we're just going to go through a couple things. The main body of this is about women getting COVID, but I just saw this too, so we're just going to talk about this first. Could 4th of July rallies fuel further outbreaks in the U.S.? Mainstream media, large left-wing protests good, no COVID. Small 4th of July celebrations bad. So they're basically saying people who meet outside on the 4th of July are evil and they're spreading COVID. So they're going to be consistent about that, right? Oh, Pride Day. They did a video celebrating Pride Day worldwide. Look at all these people wearing masks. Look at all these people wearing masks. It's definitely like everybody. Okay. Well, I guess most people there look like they are. Let's see here. Oh, wait, whoa. Well, those guys aren't wearing masks. What is it? Okay, so you have probably, okay, so those people aren't wearing masks. Those people aren't, that guy isn't. There's an Israeli Jewish flags. Those are awesome. But that's good. They're going to celebrate this. And then we also have the protests for stronger protections for migrant workers. And this is going to be kind of the one that transfers into it. So I want you to keep in mind that they're celebrating protests for migrant workers. Also look at the like-dislike ratio. The one for Pride is also awesome. 36 to 131. Also the number of views that got. Just no one gives a shit. So we're going to watch kind of the feature presentation. I'll try not to cringe too much, but I can't make any promises. So let me just see. City Global News will probably well, we'll see if they copyright it. To CBC's credit, I don't think they've ever copyrighted me. And they really shouldn't, because the entire purpose of the mainstream media is stealing like IRL stuff and making money off of it.
Millions of dollars in federal emergency aid has been given to individuals and businesses to help keep them afloat during this pandemic, and about 3 million people have lost their jobs. Now there's some signs of recovery. The economy is experiencing much bigger bounce back than forecast. Stats Canada data shows more than 950 opened. The jobless rate does remain at 12.3%, though. That's down from the record high of 13.7%.
That really doesn't seem that high to me.
In May. Hardest hit in terms of job losses have been women.
The hardest hit have been women. Well, we're going to see in a minute just how big women were hit. And it's amazing.
Metro Lay reports they're not returning to work as quickly as men are.
Is there going to be like a 5-10%, like are 20% of women going to be unemployed as opposed to like 5% of men? Well, let's find out.
It is on the surface good news, a gain of almost 1 million jobs, but economists
also note the like-dislike ratio, 133 likes to 1.5 thousand dislikes.
warn these were the easy ones, and when they take a closer look at the numbers, they find they don't add up, because men are returning to work in far greater numbers.
Okay, we're going to see the numbers.
Mathematically speaking,
in a minute.
there just aren't enough men to fill the breach of all the jobs that women have left behind. And if women don't start getting reemployed again soon, household spending will go down, and that means GDP will go down.
Okay, so let's just get this straight. So men and women were laid off at the same time, and women are coming back to work and men are coming back to work, but women aren't coming back to work at the same rate as men because, I guess, because of sexism, companies would prefer to not have needed employees so they can't employ women. So a whole bunch of jobs were lost. But because the jobs were lost, that means we need more labor for the economy so we need more women, but the economy doesn't want more. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't, I'd have to make a fucking diagram of that.
Economists have taken to calling it a she-cession.
Okay, there's something I'd like to say about the term she-cession that starts with a G and rhymes with the braying of a donkey, but I can't. Let's just listen to that again. That's like the
And that means
cringiest shit
GDP
ever.
will go down.
Economists have taken to calling it a she-cession. Certainly, the unemployment rate for women is higher than
Okay, look at that.
for men,
Okay, so it's 0.6%.
but it's the underutilized.
Okay, so the difference in unemployment
Certainly,
rate.
the unemployment rate for women is higher.
I love that. It's 0.6% difference. It's literally statistically irrelevant. I think you could probably explain that by the fact that alone Air Canada laid off a lot of its workforce, and women were probably overrepresented in the airline industry. So that probably alone would account for that. But that's an irrelevant amount. I mean, if you take age into account, that would also probably account for it, because women are significantly older on average, I believe, in Canada. So there's that. I also want you to take a look at how neoliberals just frame everything. It's such a dehumanizing, materialistic view of the world. Oh, we have to get them back in GDP goes up. They don't care about people. They only care about GDP growth rate.
Than for men, but it's the underutilization number, which combines those who are unemployed, those who want a job but
Okay, so underutilization, which is a much more complicated number. So the difference here is, sorry, it's early in the morning when I'm recording this. Okay, so let's just do this. I know I should be able to do this mentally, but 25.5. So it's less than 3% difference. So this is a she-cession because it's less than 3%.
didn't look for one, and those working half the regular hours where the disparity is most obvious. Part of that comes down to traditional household roles, with women taking on the majority of homeschooling during the pandemic. Add in daycare issues, fewer summer camps, and more uncertainty around
I mean, that is horrible. To stay at home with your kids and to teach them, that's the worstest thing ever. They could be making PowerPoint presentations. They could be doing, I don't know, they could be making spreadsheets. They could be doing something way more economically productive. I mean, how could anyone get enjoyment or fulfillment spending the day with their kids?
schooling in the fall. Women are feeling more pressure than ever.
I think women's recovery is everyone's recovery. And I think given the roles that they play, I think in healthcare is one of the things that really stands out, but not just healthcare. Think about all the ways that we live.
But isn't that aren't we always told that is a stereotype that women are nurses?
And how important women's work is. We need to see women do well, just period.
The Canadian Federation of
We just do. We don't need to justify it.
Independent Business released its numbers this week as well. The good part is that with 56% of businesses open, there's room for improvement. The bad is that only a third are back to full staff, and merely a quarter are seeing pre-pandemic revenues. A large part of why they're hearing from their members is that fewer women are returning to their old jobs.
We are hearing that there are some obstacles for women
Okay, we'll see what these obstacles are.
who still are do a lot of the childcare in the home.
Oh my God, taking care of your kids. They could be getting yelled at by people who don't speak English and freak out at them. They could be dealing with drug addicts and homeless people who smell like piss coming in and harassing them for money. Instead, they're at home with their kids.
And so I think that getting that piece of it right is going to be critical.
Note how much contempt they have for children.
The alternative is an economy operating at far less than optimal levels. Mike Drollet, Global News.
That's the reason the economy is operating at less than optimal levels. It's not because of COVID. It's because the unemployment rate is like 0.6% different for men and women. Okay, so we just had this complaint that there's not enough jobs. Wait a minute. I thought that... where was it again? Protests call for stronger protections for migrant workers. So unemployment is a major problem, particularly for women. But we need to bring in more foreign workers to do the jobs that like we don't have any labor to do them. So there's no labor to do these jobs, so we need to bring in migrant workers, but there's not enough jobs available for women. So it's like, well, women, you can't expect women to do menial work. Like, it's demeaning to work on a farm. It's demeaning to do physical labor. You can only bring in like non-white people and get them to do it. So because of diversity and tolerance, what we need to do is declare jobs that produce things to be beneath us and get non-white people to come in and pay them a substandard wage to do it for us. That's tolerance and that's diversity. But like we don't have, look at the like to dislike ratio. Okay, then we have what more can be done to protect migrant workers. 88 to 174. Let's see here. Change the farming laws so Canadians can make a decent wage while not stealing tax money to pay for migrant workers. Also, can you protect migrant workers if you can't / won't even protect and defend your own people? Nailed it. The problem, instead of subsidizing migrants, give Canadians 24 per hour subsidized. Okay, so they choose the job and now complain. Same story, different race. Keep them out and protect Canadian citizens. Send them home so they can stay with their families. I mean, if the problem is that they need more work for farms, the Canadians don't want to do it, isn't that like the issue that should be addressed here? Maybe they have to pass some labor laws. Maybe they have to rethink farm subsidies to provide more subsidies for workers. I mean, they can't even like... We have more than enough unemployed asylum seekers and refugees who should be made to take these jobs. So there's that. Okay, so we've been told it's a she-cession, which once again is the most word starting with G I've ever heard in my life. But so this is disproportionately impacting women. So what I'm about to show you now is amazing. And I think you have to take away from it, every single person who works at these companies hates you. You, the person listening to this, if you don't belong to the oligarchy or one of the people who basically just jerk them off in hopes that you can one day join it, they have nothing but profound contempt for you. They want you to die. They want you to be enslaved. The media hates you. And I think the sooner you realize that, and they will do anything they can to make you disappear. Okay, so we have the she-cession. So we're getting this. More Canadian women have COVID-19 and are dying as a result. Here's some possible reasons why. Okay, so this is May 17th. But a month and a half ago, why are more men dying of COVID-19? So, okay. According to the latest data, and I can actually explain this really easily, more women have been diagnosed with COVID-19 than men, and more women have died as a result. As of May 15th, 55% confirmed cases of COVID-19 are women, and 45% are men. Of the total deaths, 43% are women and 46% are men. So women are underrepresented in the number of deaths because fewer women are dying than have COVID. Now, why is this the case? I think the main case is because it disproportionately affects seniors, and women live substantially longer than men and make up a larger percentage of the senior homes. So if it's mainly targeting an area that's female majority, there's going to be more women than men, right? But even then, this is like this is a very, very close amount. This kind of data stands out from other countries. Let's see here. Okay, so so they do reference the long-term care, but it's obvious like bullshit. Okay, so genetic differences, there may also be factors related to biological sex, but biological sex doesn't exist. Wasn't that what J.K. Rowling was publicly skewered over? So now it does exist. And this is what fucking shitheads these people are. Females have 2 X chromosomes, and males have 1 X, 1 Y. Well, then why did you ban the episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy that talked about the X and Y chromosomes? They don't care. I think that's like they aren't even trying to hide it anymore. These people hate you. They hate your family. They hate your religion. They hate your country. They want you to die and disappear. And until you realize that, and until you develop the same contempt for them that they show to you, I don't know. I don't mean to be like Alex Jones or something, but I don't know. Just these people are garbage. And they aren't even trying to hide it anymore. Anyways, I hope you found that at least somewhat amusing. It's about all I can do at this point to just mock these people. But I'll talk to you soon.